And there's a woman that I have a great deal of admiration for who passed away a short time ago. Her name was Mother Teresa, a woman whom people all over the world revered, no matter what their religious persuasion. And this is what she said. It's called the final analysis. And there's so much beauty in this. And here's what Mother Teresa said. She said, people are often unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, she said, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. Be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone may destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today, people will often forget tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may just never be enough. Give the world the best you have anyway. You see, she said, in the final analysis, it's all between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway.
You begin to get this sense that when you get your life on purpose, you have this comprehensive understanding that what you think about is what expands. And that if what you think about is what expands, then your life itself is a creation from the beginning of open parentheses until closed parentheses, not of how your form is decorated or what it accumulates, but in terms of what it gives. Because you show up in this naked little body and it grows, the limbs all grow to the exact length that they're supposed to, and everything in it is all programmed and taken care of. But the only thing you can do with it is give it away. You can't get anything. You can't own anything. You can't have anything. All you can do is give. Because in another metaphysical instant, the jewelry that adorns each one of you will adorn another. And the house that you think is yours will soon house another. In an instant, the measure of your life will not be in what you got, but in what you gave. And you get on giving. And my purpose for me is clear, and I've surrendered to it. And once I did that, it all got exactly right in every area of my life. It is to love and to give and to serve. And I assess all that I do and all that I think, not just here on the stage, but everywhere, sitting on an airplane, being with my children, wherever I am, I assess it in terms of, am I loving, am I giving, am I serving? Transformation. Go inside, get yourself to the alpha state, and ask the question, how may I serve? How may I serve? And as you ask that question, you will find unbelievable answers coming to you. Every philosopher that I have studied, from Buddha right up until the modern times, all say it in one way or another. You become what you think about all day long. You are what your thoughts make of you. Life doesn't depress you, but thinking makes it so.
You are the sum total of your choices, your thoughts.
See, I really hammer this home, because once you get this, then you start working on your thoughts, because they originate with you. So you are the creator of your life. But you got to know that this is what your life is. Your husband or your wife or your children or your co-workers or your neighbors, you can never get behind their eyeballs and be them in the form sense. So the only thing that you have to experience these people in your life is your thoughts or your mind or your consciousness. Your wife, as you look at her and you experience her, is experienced as a thought. Now the question becomes, what is your relationship like to the rest of the people in your world? And it has nothing to do with what they are. They are just who they are on their path, and you can judge them or not. It's all up to you. But if your thoughts about the people that you're in a relationship with are on what is missing in them, or what is wrong with them, or what you don't like about them, and what you think about is what expands, or as you think, so shall you be, which I spent 2 hours trying to hammer home, is true, then for you, your experience of them will be what is missing, and what is wrong, and what you don't like. They will just be who they are on their path. Your thoughts are what make them real for you. If you're in a coma, you don't care what they do. Honey, I'm going to cheat on you tonight. Honey, the IRS is coming tomorrow. We're going to have an audit. Nobody in a coma cares because they're not using their mind. They're not thinking. When you understand that the people in your life are nothing more than thoughts, and that what you think about is what expands in what you really want for your children, the book I wrote a few years ago about taking these principles and applying them to the raising of children, I put the whole focus on catching your kids doing things right, not doing what they do wrong. Sometimes you got to follow them around all day. But if you want the relationship between you and your children to be one of love, then you've got to see love when you see them, not see what is wrong, because what is wrong will expand if that's what you're processing. That's how you're processing your children and everyone in your life. And you begin to shift that consciousness, not just in your relationships, you begin to shift it in your whole approach to abundance in your life. If you think scarcity and you think about what's missing in your life, and that's what's on your mind all the time, is what is missing, and what you think about expands because you can only act on your thoughts, then you will act on a scarcity consciousness and create scarcity. Or as James Allen said in his wonderful book, As a Man Thinketh, written in the 1890s, that circumstances do not make a man. They reveal him. They reveal your life and the choices that you have made. And the people who are in the worst of circumstances most need to hear this. If you believe, you can't, as Henry Ford said, whether you believe it or whether you don't. Either way, you're right. But we do know how anger and hatred and bitterness and tension and hate and all of those kinds of things get inside you. The only way anything can get inside you. As you think, so shall you be. Through your thoughts. So you go to work on your thoughts. And then when someone squeezes you and puts pressure on you or says something about you that you don't like or behaves in a way towards you which you find offensive or anything like that comes along, the only thing that can come out of you is what's inside. And that's why a Christ on the cross, when a soldier throws a spear into him, can say, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What he's really saying in that sentence is, they don't know that when they throw a spear into me, they're throwing a spear into themselves, because we are all one. They don't know what they're doing to themselves. Or as Buddha said, you will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger. By your anger. And you get that out of you, and when someone sends you that stuff, out of you comes love, because that is your purpose, and you're on purpose. Or out of you comes harmony or peace. And what happens is, after a while, you don't experience the negativity that so many people talk about. And you have a real strong belief that you can make things in the world change. And don't think that the great spiritual changes that have taken place in the last couple of years on this planet don't have something to do with a new consciousness. It's only through a change in consciousness that the world will be transformed. Imagine the most important people, the most influential people who've ever been among us, who've ever walked among us, Christ and Buddha, Muhammad, Jehovah. Imagine them all sitting down at a table and trying to figure out a way to resolve disputes, and ever coming up with weapons and killing. These are the people who've had the most influence ever on our planet. Don't be a Christian. Be Christ-like. Don't be a Buddhist. Be Buddha-like. Don't be a Muslim. Be Muhammad-like. Be Jehovah-like. And live the message. They weren't preaching Christianity or isms. They were preaching love, kindness, gentleness, forgiveness, caring, honoring and celebrating each other. That's not just empty words. That's the state of the world is nothing more than a state of mind. The state of your life is a reflection of your state of mind. The state of the world is a reflection of our state of mind, how we think.
If hatred is existing in your world, that's an energy field. It's a lower and a slow energy than the energy of love. If you can bring love to the presence of that hatred, it will be nullified just as if you were bringing light to darkness. But for most of us, what we do when we see hatred is we respond in kind to that hatred. There's a wonderful book that I have a great affection for. It's called Power versus Force. It's written by a psychiatrist. His name is David Hawkins, and he's a PhD as well. And he talks about how mankind has not evolved, because every time we have a dispute, what we do in that dispute is, when someone has hatred or anger or any of these slower and lower energies, is that we respond with the same energy of hatred and anger. And what we do is we create a counterforce, and that counterforce weakens everyone in its energy field. They said of Jesus, they said of Buddha, they said of these great spiritual masters, and Mother Teresa was one, that when they would walk into a village, just their presence in the village and nothing more would raise the consciousness of those around them. Just by being in the presence of someone who radiates out this kind of love, you alter it and change it.